I made over a 500% return on just one trade, and I was able to double a small account that I have on Robinhood just with this Nike swing trade that I'm gonna show you guys, and I'm gonna walk you through the entire process of why I took this trade and what was my entry and my exit. So, but with the small account, here is the everything that I bought and everything that I sold, right? And it is also here. You guys can see it is real. Here it is, real. So you cannot paper trade with Robinhood. But okay, let's go to a chart first and see. I'm gonna explain you why I wanted to trade this, why I swing traded, what was my entry, what was my exit. So first of all, I took this trade live on the stream that I do from Monday to Thursday every single morning. You guys know me here. I'm always here. So yeah, let's go through this Nike chart. I took Nike swing, and this is what I was looking before taking this trade. It was pretty much like this. So I had Nike on my watch list like a month ago or something like that, because I love trading gaps. And when I say gaps, it means you have an empty huge space in the chart like this one, right? So Nike gap down here based on, I think it was bad earnings or something like that. Let me see. Yeah, bad earnings. So Nike had bad earnings, and every time I see a chart with huge gaps, I like to put like alerts right when the gap starts to play the entire gap fill. And you guys know that I love playing gaps, and I have a full video where I explain how I play gaps. It's gonna be in the link down below. But okay, so I was looking this chart, right? Huge gap, and it had a clear resistance here, this level here, clear resistance here, 78, 79, around there. I wanted to trade this gap, but Nike had one day, so I was basically waiting for a break, retest to play the upside, right? Or at least to take a little bit of the gap, at least till here, because I can see it has a clear resistance here, clear resistance here, and then you have the resistance of the entire gap fill, right? So but one day, it was on the 15th maybe, it gap up, and when it gap up, I felt like I missed my entry, right? Because I wanted to take the entry here near the resistance, and then that resistance, I wanted to see it acting as support. That's basic technical analysis. If you want to play the upside, you want to see it breaking a resistance and then pulling back down and seeing that resistance acting as support. And I post a bunch of times on my Discord this chart that I was eyeing Nike 79, 78 support to play the upside. So after this gap up, we had the gap getting a little bit smaller, but also we had a new gap below, right? And if I want to play the upside, I do not like playing the upside when we have gaps below. So for me, after seeing this, I felt like I missed the entry, or I needed to wait until it filled this gap and then really show me that this resistance was acting as support so I can play the upside, right? That was my plan. And the importance of this trade is that I was very patient and wait for the trade to come to me, not me seeing here that I missed a trade and trying to buy here at the highest, right? So a few days after, I had the pullback that I was waiting. Okay. Okay, like that. So we had a pullback and it went even a little bit under, right? So on Friday, oh no, Wednesday 11, I was here on the stream and I said, okay, so I'm eyeing Nike because I want to trade this huge gap, right? This entire level gap here, empty space here. But I needed to hold 78, 79 as support because it was resistance here in the past. So, and I said, I'm gonna take a starting position here this day on Wednesday 11th because I like how this bullish candlestick was forming here. And I was like, okay, maybe this entire level based on this little candle here, it's gonna act as support. Let me buy a little bit here and see if it's really gonna act as support. And my stop loss is simply this candle high. This candle low, right? So I bought it here. I bought the 80 and 85 contract. It was 2 or 3 weeks out. I did not buy anything on the small account because on the small account I like to be like a little bit more picky with my entries and with my play. So I waited a little bit more. I wanted to see a clear 79 hold to play it with the small account. And then we have it there, Friday 13. So on Friday 13, I decided to buy here with a small account, a few contracts, and it was like three, let me see when it was. Yeah, 3 weeks out, right? I bought 3 weeks out, 85 strike, and then I bought a few days later the 80 strike. So 85, why 85? Because I bought 3 weeks out, so I bought a lot of time, and this was my next big resistance, right? Around 85. So that's why I got the 85 contract, and they were super cheap. So it was a like perfect trade for a small account. So also, so I entered here. My stop loss was this candle low, this one, and then my first PT was this high, but my main plan was to wait and see if Nike can fill this entire gap, or at least to one of these resistance, right? Because I knew it was gonna take some time to fill this entire gap because it's a big one, and Nike is not one of those stocks that move a lot. Like you can see in one day move barely $1 or barely $2, right? So okay, it was looking pretty good, holding this resistance and support. We have this little gap fill, and then we have all this empty space. The next resistance was around 85, a little bit higher than 85. And I just kept holding this entire, let me play it out, this entire move until we had a big gap up thanks to news. And it was since I entered on the small account on Friday 13 and I got out on Friday when the market opened, because we had news after market on Thursday. And then so Nike opened with this huge gap below. Let me move this to this side. With this huge gap below, because it opened here. So it was creating a gap below the level that it opened. And like I said before, I do not like to trade to the upside when we have gaps below. So for me, it was like, okay, should I, this, when it opened, this trade was like 502% up, right? So for me, it was like, okay, is it wise to keep holding this trade for the entire gap fill, or should I just take profit? Right? So that was an easy answer. I just took profits here. I took profits around 501%, and then 498, 499, and 488. So this, you guys can see it here. My entries and exits. And yeah, I doubled this account. I don't take too many trades on this account because I'm very picky with the whenever I use my small account. And yeah, that was a beautiful clean trade. Very good setup. Easy to follow. Just basically buying a support and using the lowest here as your stop loss. And so now I'm all out. But what I think Nike might do, let me put it how it is. It's looking right now. So Nike is kind of pulling back here. It's using this previous high as support. What I would like to see Nike doing is, let me clean this a little bit. I want to see it hold, filling this little gap that it has below and holding it as support. So I basically want to see it holding these previous resistance as support, doing this. Maybe a little bit of consolidation here and then keep going higher to fill this entire gap. Obviously has a few resistance inside the gap, so you have resistance here, a little bit here, and then the entire gap fill. But yeah, that was a trade on Nike. That was a beautiful 500% return, and I still think it looks pretty bullish. But like I said before, when you have something that is giving you like 500% return, it gets more risky to keep wanting more than to take profits there. And yeah, that's a Nike trade. Very easy, simple to follow, very straightforward.